The story of Noah's Ark is a well-known biblical narrative. It is found in the book of Genesis. The story tells of a great flood. God sent this flood to cleanse the earth. Wickedness had spread across the world. Noah was a righteous man. He found favor in God's eyes. God instructed Noah to build an ark. The ark was a large vessel. It was designed to withstand the flood. Noah was to bring his family onto the ark. He was also instructed to bring 2 of every animal. This included every species on earth. The flood came as God promised. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The waters rose and covered the earth. All living things outside the ark perished. The flood lasted for many days. Eventually, the waters began to recede. The ark came to rest on Mount Ararat. Noah sent out a dove. It returned with an olive branch. This signaled that the waters were receding. Finally, Noah, his family and the animals left the ark. They stepped onto dry land. God made a covenant with Noah. He promised never to flood the earth again. This story is central to the Abrahamic religions. It has been interpreted in various ways throughout history. The Genesis flood narrative presents several scientific challenges. One major issue is the sheer volume of water required. Genesis 7:20 states the waters covered even the highest mountains. This would necessitate an unimaginable amount of water. To cover Mount Everest, the waters would need to rise over 5 miles high. Where did this water come from? Where did it go afterward? These questions have no satisfactory scientific answers. The global flood model also contradicts geological evidence. Sedimentary layers formed by water deposition are found worldwide. However, these layers often contain fossils from different periods. This suggests gradual formation over vast stretches of time, not a single catastrophic event. Furthermore, many ancient civilizations show no disruption in their archaeological records during the supposed time of the flood. This suggests they continued uninterrupted, contradicting a global flood scenario. The ark's size presents another logistical challenge. According to Genesis, the ark was 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. This translates to approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. While large, this vessel was tasked with housing 2 of every animal species on Earth. Modern zoos, significantly larger than the ark, struggle to house even a fraction of the world's species. The logistical challenges of feeding, cleaning, and caring for such a diverse menagerie on a wooden vessel would be insurmountable. Waste disposal alone would pose a significant problem. The ark's design, with limited ventilation, would likely lead to disease outbreaks. The survival of both prey and predator animals in such close quarters further strains credulity. The story of Noah's Ark raises important questions about the relationship between faith, metaphor, and scientific evidence. While some interpret the story literally, others see it as an allegory or moral tale. The scientific implausibility of a global flood as described in Genesis leads many to question its historical accuracy. However, the story's symbolic meaning can still resonate. It speaks to themes of human fallibility, divine judgment, and the possibility of redemption. The story also highlights the importance of stewardship and our responsibility towards the natural world. Ultimately, reconciling faith and science requires careful consideration of evidence and interpretation. While science relies on empirical data and testable hypotheses, faith often deals with matters beyond the scope of scientific inquiry. Recognizing these distinct realms can allow for a more nuanced understanding of both the natural world and our place within it. In the Christian tradition, the genealogy of Christ is meticulously traced back to Noah and ultimately to Adam. This lineage is not merely a list of names, it represents a continuous thread of faith and divine promise. The Gospel of Luke, for instance, outlines this genealogy, emphasizing the connection between Jesus and the patriarchs of the Old Testament. If Noah's story were to be considered a myth, it poses significant theological challenges. Noah is not just a character in a tale, he is a pivotal figure in the unfolding of God's plan according to biblical narratives. The covenant God makes with Noah after the flood serves as a foundation for the promises later fulfilled in Christ. This covenant is seen as a symbol of God's enduring faithfulness and mercy. The implications of viewing Noah's story as a myth extend beyond the narrative itself. It calls into question the veracity of the genealogical records that link Jesus to the ancient patriarchs. If Noah's existence is mythical, it undermines the historical continuity that is crucial to Christian theology. The legitimacy of Christ's fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies could be seriously questioned, potentially shaking the very foundations of Christian faith. Therefore, the story of Noah is not just about a man and an ark. It is about the broader context of divine promise and fulfillment. It underscores the importance of understanding biblical narratives, not only in their historical and scientific context, but also in their theological dimensions. In this way, the story of Noah remains an essential component of the Christian faith, bridging the ancient past with the promise of redemption in Christ. This intricate interplay between faith, history, and theology invites believers to delve deeper into the scriptures, to recognize that to understand that the flood of Noah is scientifically impossible, creates fundamental issues with the divinity of Christ. As we reflect on the story of Noah and its implications, we find ourselves at the intersection of faith and reason, where understanding science and the relationship of this Bible story to the bloodline of Christ creates significant issues for fundamentalist believers. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. Until next time, may your journey through these sacred stories be both enlightening and thought-provoking.